Main phase.
Avast ye hearties, or whatever it is pirates say. This is the Pirate Stream. This is the stream of the Just June, where I'm looking at games with pirates in, pirate-themed games, pirate ship-themed games, just pirates, lots of pirates, not pirated games. That is another stream. Oh, excellent, Stephen. Also, welcome to everybody. I just see Stephen in the chat saying working on the 664 XML. That would be the software list, which does need a bit of work. As does the Spectrum one I noticed when looking through some of these, because the Treasure Island game was grouped with several others. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. I would just like to welcome everybody to the chat. I mean, we've already got, I think, 17 people viewing according to the YouTube statistics there, so that's quite a lot to get things started with. And the game we'll be starting with is Pirate Pete, which is a Taito game from '82, and a natural choice to open a piratey themed stream with, I feel. So let's change the view to the horizontal view. Let's full screen it, and let's put in a credit. So hey David, hey Cow, hey Aussie Guy, Mitchell, Stephen, Peter, Ramses, Bob, Stephen again. This is quite loud actually. Let me just turn this down a little bit here. There we go. That's better on my ears at least. Zombie Pirate LeChuck. Yes, we have a LeChuck here. I won't actually be playing Monkey Island this time though, because it's a bit the pace is a bit wrong for a stream game, I feel. What's going on here? I have no controls. There we go. It's not a bootleg, main fan. This is one of Taito America's attempts to reskin Jungle King or Jungle Hunt to appeal more to the audience, and also, work around some of the legal issues that were caused by Jungle King. Because Jungle King was a little bit too much like Tarzan, right down to the the Tarzan scream, and some people were not so happy about that. So after re-releasing it as Jungle Hunt with a few changes, it then got re-released again as Pirate Pete, which is the one you see here. Beginning with a Taito game, yes. I'm beginning with a Taito game. Why not? I mean, I wanted to go with something early to start with, and '82 is an early example of a pirate game. You can see a span. Yeah, I set some of the regulars to moderators so that if there are any messages that need letting through, you should now be able to do it without me having to jump out of the game to try and let messages through, which should help the flow of things here a little bit. So if anybody's got a spanner by the name, so that's Stephen, Cow, Main Fan, Bob, and a few others, then yeah, whiskey's fine, Peter. You can have whiskey. I mean, I'm sure pirates drink whiskey. I personally have some rum. I have the hazelnut rum because I can't resist a good pun on my own name either. So there we go. Yeah, Pirates Gold. I might have a little look at. It's a bit slow paced, but I can still have a quick look at it and sail around a little bit. And okay, so Pirate Pete, a lot of it is about timing of your jumps on these ropes. You actually googled, why is there a spanner next to your name? Well, I say it probably just means you're a mechanic. That would be my gut feeling. Can you tell I don't really usually play Pirate Pete? And yeah, why doesn't he just walk along the deck? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look like an unfriendly deck. Also, why is the ship green? I mean, eco-friendly pirate ships? Maybe a thing? Who knows? But here we go. And then we go and dive into the water. Because I think he must have thought that like the floor was lava on the pirate ship or something like that. And obviously avoid the floor. There's treasure down here. There's treasure down here. But you can't do anything with it. Oh, and I got eaten. This game would qualify. Were you not aware of this one, Main Fan? Because I thought this was quite a well-known one. I mean, there's a whole Cutting Room Floor article on the differences between Jungle King, Jungle Hunt, and Pirate Pete, which, if you've not checked out, would be well worth checking out. I might put a link to it in the chat if I remember. Because that's one of the very good cutting room floor articles, actually. Yes, that is correct, Aussie guy. But obviously there were legal issues with Jungle King in the first place, in Jungle Hunt, so I guess they wanted to give the game a second chance for that reason too. You know, it was a bit still risky territory with Jungle King, so you know there was reason for doing it, and obviously yeah, people like pirates, or they thought people liked pirates. And pirates, see, there aren't that many pirate games. I was quite surprised when researching the stream how few pirate games there were. There were gambling games, probably more gambling games with pirates than actual proper games. And we'll probably have to have a look at some of those in a bit. Not extensively, but you know, just to show that they exist. The ones that run anyway. I guess the whole treasure theme fits with gambling, doesn't it? This requires very precise timing to actually kill anything. So, there we go. Swim past you. Too early. Yeah, the colours were a little bit odd in this game. I mean, the pirate ship was green too, but I guess we won't question the universe this exists in. The colours, as far as I know, are correct. It's just one of those cases of, you know, choose your colours. Ah, dear. And stick with them. It might be something to do with it being a reskin of Jungle King. Maybe they didn't change as many of the colours as they wanted to. Although it's not got proms, so they could have easily changed every colour in the game. I don't know. I did not pick the colours. Now, there was a bug fix in the SJ driver recently, but I don't think it affects this game. It affects collisions in one of the Tin Star. They're more ninjas than... Yeah, there are more ninja games than pirate games. There's 5 underwater. Okay, let's try again. There are more stages to this game, if I can get past the water stage. Which, at the moment I'm struggling to do. But that might just be because I'm rushing it, like quite often happens with these streams. But yeah, I personally prefer the pirate theme. I was never a big Tarzan fan in the first place. So the Jungle King theme didn't do anything for me. So, you know, Taito's marketing department were probably right in the sense that pirates would have a wider appeal. But you do lose sort of the iconic rope swing screen that got Taito into trouble in the first place, but... Oh dear. Happy Sussex Day. We won't be druv. I've come here. I've got here with no lives again, haven't I? Shall we save state it? This is a bit cheeky, but... Can you not kill the purple ones? Or is my timing just that bad? You can kill them. Yeah, it's just a case of getting the timing right. I don't like close combat things like... It's almost a shooter, but with very close contact. Oh, and I drowned. Don't drown. I'm definitely not Essex or Sussex. So you have to go back to the surface to get your breath back, which actually makes sense, but... Let's just avoid all the sharks. Oh dear. Let's try again. Do I have to kill anything? Or is that the whole point? Yeah, I kill things. The diving meter, yes, it's your oxygen meter. 009. Is it a case of kill a certain amount of sharks or just swim? I can't remember. It's been a long time since I played this. A kitchen knife would be very useful. Yeah, I mean, if I just pause it for a second. I mean, I'll put this on here for later. There is a very good article, as I said, on the cutting room floor about Jungle Hunt, Jungle King and Pirate Pete. I strongly suggest, you know, you bookmark that and have a read of it, because it goes into detail about the differences in the game. Like, there's a lot more randomization in Pirate Pete. So, obviously, save states are not fully supported in this driver. That is surprising. I might have to go and fix save states in this driver. That wasn't an emulation bug, that was just I loaded a save state when there was a different graphic bank selected, and apparently the driver doesn't support save states. In fact, let me get... If I'm going to get anywhere on this, I'm going to give myself more lives and try again. The cutting room floor also has a final lap article. I've not read that one. Did you write it, Cow? Secret moment mode. I think there's a debug mode where you can just get invulnerability in this as well from memory. But that would be too easy, wouldn't it? We don't want to cheat our way through the first game aside from save state. Yeah, remember to jump off ropes. Apparently you lose your grip after a while. Right. Actually, no, I'll save state here. I can save state on the same screens. It's just a case of if I go into a different scene, it's not going to work. But I will have to look into that, because I'm surprised this doesn't save state properly, to be honest. But the water was quite glitchy when I loaded the save state. Oh. Yes. How bad am I at this game? Am I worse at this game than Final Lap? Okay. They always have to be slightly above you. Ooh. Yeah, the collisions are a little bit unfair at times, to be honest. Not my favourite part of the game. Right, so this is me safe stating my way through an easy part of a relatively easy game. Because I'm not good at swimming and killing things in water. I can't even get to the top this time. We could just avoid them all, I guess. It's probably a better strategy. I should try what on stream. If I leave Final Off on for 2 months, it says hello MAME Haze. Interesting. I might have to try that. I'll just do nothing else on the PC for 2 months and see what happens, Cow. Actually, right, for save state here, it should be fine if I reload. There we go. Now we're getting very Donkey Kong jump over barrels, but no, they're not barrels, they're rocks. There's also some snakes up there. Don't like snakes. This sounds like a bit of music made by the rocks. I guess you could call it rock music. Rock and snake. That's a new genre, I think. Speed swim. The drop made me jump. So now we get to the cannibal scene. Oh, it's not cannibals, they're pirates in this version. Oh yeah, and they throw knives at you. Come on, let me know the girl. I cooked myself. Will they play Rock and Snake on pirate radios? Probably. It sounds perfect then. Oh, yeah, save states don't work. I didn't make another save state. Anyway, that was Pirate Pete. I will fix the save states at some point. You get the idea. That was the last screen. After that, it would loop back to the other scenes. But yeah, it's a nice little reskin of Jungle King. It's a bit tricky. My least favourite section, as you can probably tell, is the underwater section, which I'm terrible at. But I can't blame the game. I'm just not a very good player. And I'd learn the timing eventually. It's just a case of the hitboxes are quite big. And it always attacks slightly up and to the left of your character. And that throws me off because I'm always trying to position it as if it was in front. Yeah, I'm just not very good at it. I think that's a fair thing to say. So, let's go from one early pirate game to another early pirate game. This is Pirate Ship Higemaru, 84 game from Capcom. And maybe not one of Capcom's more famous or better known games, but it is a pirate themed game, or a pirate ship themed game. Yes, let me know the girl. The cannibal pirate. They really are cannibal pirates, yes. I mean, they wasn't obvious from the start, but they were still trying to cook the girl. And, you know, that's not how you find a hot girl. You don't just put her in a stew or something like that. So maybe they're just poorly educated pirates. I don't know. So what do you do in this game? Well, you pick up barrels and you roll them at things. Bit like you do in Miss Dynamite, but without the dynamite. And the barrels actually crush things in this, unlike in Miss Dynamite, where they don't. It did also come out in the Famicom in extended form, and on the MSX2. That is correct, Bob. And you know what? I have that on my list. So we might get to look at the extended version a little bit later. So this is kind of a Pengo-like game, really. Except rather than just push the blocks, you pick them up and you throw them. But it reminds me more of Pengo than I'd say any other game. And that's not a bad thing. I like a bit of Pengo. Pirate Ship Pengo. Ooh. Yeah, I did consider doing a Popeye game, but Popeye's not really a pirate game, is it? The MSX was an attempt to standardise, and yet seems incredibly non-standard. The number of drivers I had to try running the MSX2 version of the sequel on before I found one that actually worked properly was impressive. You run it on a non-Japanese one, it doesn't have the correct text. You run it on some of the others, it just was resetting. So, yeah, MSX can be a bit of a pain. But yeah, I don't really know why nobody really talks about this one when they talk about Capcom's classic arcade games. Because, you know, people talk all the time about Pengo if you're talking about Sega games, but not Capcom's attempt at doing something similar. Now, yeah, you can get food and things from the coloured barrels, which is probably good for scoring, but I'm assuming you can put these together like you can put the things in Pengo together. Maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. Any advantage for these? No? Okay, I can't remember. I thought you could put those together like you could in Pengo. I'm incorrect. Yes, instead of avoiding them and jumping over them, there, my friend cow. Yeah, I'll be looking at the sequel in a bit, Mr. Agner. I didn't realise it tied into Ghosts and Goblins. How does that work? Are some of the levels just themed around ghosts and goblins? So yeah, I can't remember what the coins and barrels and things do in the levels in this one anymore. No, Dink, I don't know what colour the rain and clouds are supposed to be on the PCB of Checkered Flag, unfortunately. And hey, Andy, yeah, I'm pretty good. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. And also, hey, Paul, I see you're in here now, and hope I've not missed anybody else. Custardo here as well. I've probably not said hi to you. I think I said hi to Aussie guy at the start, and obviously hi, Dink. Hope things are going well with you and Final Burn development. It is very, very warm. Yeah, I mean, the heat is just making me ridiculously tired these days. It's like, I've got the windows open, have to close the curtains for streaming, otherwise the light just, you know, it messes up the recording completely. I open the cameras and everything gets very, very, very bright. Open the curtains? Did I say cameras? Open the... I know what I mean. But yeah, it's not good for concentration either when you're playing games, the heat. I've noticed that when I was trying to play other things earlier. Yeah, I mean, most games get pretty tough to me, gaming how YouTube thing, but I can still enjoy them. I do like these, you know, single screen, puzzly, destroy the enemy games. It's not a single screen platformer, but it's got the same clear the screen of enemies mechanics that you later found in those single screen platformers, or becoming more popular in single screen platformers. Just doesn't have the platforms. What, I guess you'd call it a maze game, really, wouldn't you? It would fit in my maze game stream that I did before. There we go. Yeah, no, I don't think... I mean, YouTube didn't used to be quite as social, quite so much of a streaming platform anyway, and... yeah, there are a lot of people with channels they wish they could rename or rebrand or whatever else, and YouTube doesn't always make it that easy. I mean, you know, there's the whole set up your brand, but then you lose all your old comments thing, if that they're still doing it that way. And then... you know, you want to rename your channel and it still ends up using old URLs, and there are definitely ways in which YouTube could improve the handling of things, or like you set a nickname for chat that's not quite the same as, you know, your channel name, or something like that. But unfortunately they don't. I'm inserting coin into the pirates. They're inserting something into me. Which is why it's now game over. Well, it's not, is it not game over? It's not game over. Take coin. That was clever. Almost dark. It's not almost dark here. I wish it was almost dark. I mean, when it's darker, I can leave the curtains open, but then it's, you know, those days aren't as hot anyway, so I don't know. But yeah, it's a bit warm. The cats are enjoying it. They've been sunbathing all these days outside. They don't want to come in at all at the moment. It's like, no, not leave us outside, okay, all night, and they are quite happy with that. I like how they jump in the barrels and you get sort of Solid Snake's cardboard box trick, but with a barrel. The stealth pirates, not ninjas. What do the anchors going around the side do? I can't remember. I don't know why you dropped pirate ship from the title, although it is kind of obvious. You know how difficult searching for pirate games can be, though, because you search for pirate-themed games and you still only find articles about pirated games, and it's like, I'm not looking for pirated games, I'm looking for pirate-themed games. You do find 1 or 2 articles, but the number of things about playing backup copies outnumbers them. I wonder if that's maybe why, in some senses, games featuring pirates aren't as common as you'd expect. Maybe it's the the negative connection between pirates and game piracy, and people don't want to do pirate games. I'm not sure. Because considering how popular pirates can be, you would have thought there'd be maybe more. Go out the barrel. Yes, Pirates is going to be on the stream. It is one of the ones I used in the preview image. Nix's Pirates will be featuring. I'm probably not going to do it immediately next because I've done 2 arcade games now in a row. But there will be Nix's Pirates at some point. That was kind of the first game I wrote down, because that's actually my favourite of the pirate themed games. So, yeah. I'm surprised Capcom didn't put something like, a sequel to this on that CPS 1-3 Wonders, actually. The bootleg stream, I don't know, I've got some games noted down for it. But I don't know when I'm going to do it. It might be the next one I do. It might not be. But yeah, I'll probably move on to another game after this credit. Because I think you get the idea what this is. Unless I get further in it, there's not much more to see. So yeah. You're going to mark down. You really want me to fix that bootleg, don't you, Cal? I've not really had any time to try and see what's wrong with it. I'm surprised it doesn't just need the different kind of MCU or something like that. But I don't know if it's a real bootleg board or a conversion, to be honest. So yeah, it was mentioned that there was a sequel to this, and there was a sequel to this. I'm going to load it on an MSX2 machine. I decided on the Wavy PHC-23, which is exactly what you'd call a computer. So here we go. This is the follow-up title, which has got a more RPG-like element to it. But I'm sure we can still get somewhere. So you start by sailing your ship. You can sail it faster. Now, if you're using a Japanese MSX, it does actually have Japanese text, which is handy. Now, assuming I just follow the arrow, because I've never really played this one before, I'll admit. But there's an arrow up there pointing bottom right, so I'm just going to keep going bottom right and hope that's the right way to go. I don't know what the temperatures are here. I have not actually ever... I don't have a thermometer here, so I can't tell you. I've got to go down now. Down, down, down. You see, you're sailing around the overworld map here. Oh, there's a ship. Now suddenly we've got a very similar game. So apparently this is how you board pirate ships or something in this. I'm not sure. But you get on board and you throw all the barrels at the pirates. Okay. I thought I'd knocked that one out. Doesn't have proper scrolling, unfortunately, but it'll do. Now, I don't know if this has different sound modes or something, because I did watch a YouTube video where the sound seemed better, and it was definitely the MSX version, but that might just be something else. I know you could get expansion soundboards for some units, but I don't know if this game supports them. But it's kind of interesting the way they've taken a simple arcade game and used it as the base of a bigger game. I'm running out of barrels. Do I not even have to kill them all? Oh well. Yeah, I probably need to look at more at the MSX drive. I'm just not that familiar with the MSX in general, so there could be options I'm not aware of. But I'm sure it did sound a bit better in a video. Boss. I think his name must be Red Eye. Let's try and take him down. I notice I lose points when I get hit. I get cook key. I beat the... I guess that's the edge of the map because it says stop. Now where do I go? Maybe I can get one of these forts. Or not. So does anybody know what I'm doing now? There's no arrow to tell me where to go. He was indeed sent to Davy Jones' locker. Where am I going? What am I doing? This is the problem when you try and play a game you've never played before. Nobody seems to want me to... Yeah, now I go to a bookstore and buy a guide, or I watch a YouTube long play and try and work out what I'm doing. I'm sure there's more gameplay to this in here somewhere. It must be one of these, surely. But I don't even know what it's telling me. The points counter is my health. Okay, that's a different way of doing things. Kind of a forgiving way of doing things. But yeah, now I don't know what I'm doing. I'm literally just sailing around, not sure where I'm going. One piece of land I can go on first. Did this game come with a map? I mean, at the moment it's just sailing simulator, which I'm fine with. I mean, I'm just sailing around. You can't shipwreck yourself, and it doesn't seem to be a stormy day. The boat can't jump. Yeah, a lot of these games were. They all look the same. I mean, maybe the thing is, I got a key, so to me, I should be looking for a door of some kind. But well, we just enjoyed Pirate Sailing Simulator. Provision 1.0. Yes, there aren't many distinct features. They're just lots of rocky islands, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know where I'm going. It might be each fort has a unique key, but there's nothing to really indicate which fort the key I just got's for. I've tried this one before, haven't I? Can't I just walk on land? That'd be easier. And stop again. I'm at the bottom again. The right again. Oh well, I think this one I might have to move on from this one fairly quickly because I don't think sailing around the sea doing nothing is the most entertaining stream. I mean, if I wanted to do something like this, I could do Desert Bus, but from what I know, there's a good game in here. Well, at the moment I'm just awaiting the Kraken or anything that might shipwreck me. Apparently I can't go fast up here. I can only go fast here, not near the edge. Oh, I'm on the very edge now. Oh. Where's England? Well, apparently I'm a landlubber because you know I want to get off the ship. I'm feeling a bit seasick. Yeah, I've only... Well, the thing is, at first it gave me an arrow to where the ship was. Unless the game's protected, and, you know, I've now triggered a copy protection mechanism. Oh, look, there's something here. Oh, yes. There's something else to do. Is it a shop? Well, that wasn't very useful. I thought I'd found something good or useful. Or just hints. I don't know. I didn't seem to see. You wanted 3 of something, I think, but didn't tell me anything else. Anyway, yeah, I'm probably going to turn this off in a minute. Oh, okay. Apparently I found Cook Island. There must be a map with the game that tells you where the islands are. So I don't have to turn it off. So now I'm throwing rocks. We got somewhere. We found something. So now it's no longer on a pirate ship, but it's still pirates on an island. Interesting scroll. It scrolls a little bit, then it force scrolls. Apparently I'm killing the wildlife. And the natives. Oh dear. Vertical text is not that unusual for Japanese games, is it? It's not super common, but I think I've seen a fair bit of it. I was more surprised the Welcome to Cook Island was in English, considering everything else hasn't been. Don't know what I'm meant to be doing on this island, though. I guess I'm searching for something. Oh, that's a dead end. Oh, but you can throw your spears through trees, and the boulders respawn. I can still jump. I've not worked out the reason to jump yet. So yeah, I've not really spent any time with this one before, and apparently now I'm dead because I ran out of points. So game over. So, there we go. That was the sequel to the arcade game, which adds RPG-like elements to it. And it's probably a good one to play in your own time, maybe more so than on stream, unless I'm going to, you know, dedicate a large section of the stream to it. Now, the next one, you can tell me off for cheating if you want, because it's not strictly all piratey, but it does have a pirate in it. And for that reason, I'm going to count it. And this is going to take a while to load because this only runs at 400% speed, but this is a Bubble Dizzy by Codemasters. This is... I've played lots of versions of Bubble Dizzy, but until the other day I had not played the C64 version. And the C64 version seems quite different. Let me just adjust the screen positioning a little bit. Slider controls. Position. Stretch. You know, there's something about screen positioning dialogue that covers the screen when you're trying to adjust the position. It's maybe not the world's greatest design. There we go. That's slightly better centered, isn't it? Look, there you go. There's a pirate on the title screen. And that means it counts, because it's pirate-themed. And if you play the version in Fantastic Dizzy on the Master System, the whole Bubble Dizzy minigame segment is based around the pirate ship part of the game. So there is a pirate theme going on there. But I didn't want to play the whole of the the Master System version just to get to the pirate ship, just to play Bubble Dizzy. So we went with this one. And yeah, the Spectrum version and the CPC versions are really slow and not much fun. The Amiga version looks nice but doesn't play well. And this one I found seemed to strike a nice balance, at least in my initial testing of it. So, speedrun's Fantastic Dizzy. That Fantastic Dizzy is a long game to speedrun, Ramses. Your friend must have a lot of patience. Is this the first C64 on the stream? I don't know. I've shortlisted a few C64 games before, but quite a lot of them don't work as I'd expect, or I couldn't get to control or had severe glitches. So I don't remember if I played another C64 game or not. Unfortunately, I did want to play like a C16 C+4 version of Treasure Island, but I couldn't get that to load at all. Commodore machines and MAME don't always get along, it seems. And yeah, so this drive's not even that fast. I can only get 400% speed, which is why it's still taking a while to load, even if it's only a 5-minute loader. So bear with me, we should almost be there. And now it should work. And the rasters are a little bit off, but we'll just have to accept that. So there we go. We're on the pirate ship, we get knocked off into the water. There we go. This is our pirate. And he really wants us to walk the plank there, doesn't he? It's like, you walk the plank, you dirty, lamb-loving egg. But this has a more arcade quality than the other versions of Bubble Dizzy I played. Because it's got, that fast 50 frame a second sprite movement you typically associate with C64 games more so than others. Other 8-bit platforms. But the idea is, of course, to use the bubbles to get out of the water, which is easier said than done. It's a very frustrating game in all forms. And this version does not change the frustration factor. If you stay on a bubble too long, it pop, and then if you don't control yourself to a platform, you end up at the bottom of the sea again. And if you jump off a bubble, it pops too. But you can collect the treasure on the way. The tune actually really reminds me of the Hydro full tune, which is another underwater game. It feels a little too close in some ways, but maybe that's just me. Yeah, I missed the bubble. Back at the bottom. I'm sinking and drowning. Can I play DOS games? I mean, MAME does emulate PCs, but it's a lot of setup to get any DOS stuff running. So I try and go for ones that I think people will easily be able to try for themselves, and the DOS stuff is much trickier to get to work with, because you basically have to install a complete operating system yourself. Now, there are no sound effects, unfortunately, there's just the music. But it is a nice piece of music. Now, what does annoy me is the top of the water there is just, you can't jump against it. You can't jump out the water that way. So it can make timing this last little bit trickier than you expect it to. You have to jump from there to get out. And yes, the whole do eggs float or sink thing is a bit of an issue. You used to know the guy who did the music for Fantasy World Dizzy. That's one of my favourite tunes, I think, along with Magic Land, Stephen. And Quick Stacks has got some really good music as well. But yeah, in general, a lot of the Codemasters games did have good music, but I do remember Fantasy World and Magic Land and Quick Stacks especially. But this is a decent tune, but So it does sound a bit too much like some parts of the Hydrofall one, unless it's the same composer, but I don't know. But yes, this is being played because the pirate ship at the start, and the pirate is the one who throws you in the water. It's a loose connection, but it did give me an excuse to put a C64 game on, and one that I could actually play and get working. So there you go. But yeah, there's a heavy random element to this game, which may be why people don't like it. It's random and frustrating at times, but of all the versions I've played, this is by far my favourite version of Bubble Dizzy. This one I can, you know, almost say I enjoy, whereas some of the other versions, not so much. The Master System minigame's alright, but that's really is just a very short minigame. It's got the difficulty ramp right down. There we go. You played the DOS version. Yeah, some of the ports on better hardware just didn't work. I say the Amiga one looks fantastic, but it's no fun. If I had to guess, maybe the DOS version's like the Amiga one. If that was what they were going for 16-bit. They took the bubble too far in Bubble Dizzy. But what would happen if you threw a final lap car down to the bottom of the ocean? That wouldn't be able to escape on a tide of current of bubbles, would it? So, you know, Dizzy is clearly better than a final lap car. I mean, you're probably less likely to survive a crash than a final lap car, but more likely to survive being thrown in the ocean. Oh, that finds my health. No, don't run that platform. See, it gets more challenging. You end up with creatures like that on some of the platforms that kill you off. I can stand here, can I? It's quite a short tune, unfortunately. It loops quite quickly. Nope, didn't quite make it. And I drown. Run out of oxygen. And when you run out of oxygen, you float. Well, how's the car going to get out, cow? You tell me. You don't crash, you spin. Well, you do spin in Final Lap a lot, don't you? You probably get very dizzy in Final Lap, to be honest, if you're in that car. Maybe this is in fact the driver of the final lap car. Yes. It is interesting how different the C64 versions were sometimes, though. Obviously, the famous example is Quick Snacks, which is an entirely different game than the C64. But if we're honest, this is really quite different too. The same concept, but it's faster, it's smoother, it's more enjoyable. Spins like a helicopter and flies out. You mean it empties the entire chasm of water and just spins that flies out? It's left and right and probably fire button to jump, so it might be alright on joystick Ramses. It's not up to jump. You don't need up and down, so fire is jump. So it plays more like an arcade game. Anyway, we'll probably have a little look at this level, then move on to another game. Because, let's say, the only pirate bit is at the top there with the pirate ship. But it's still got that underwatery, piratey treasure feel to it, hasn't it? Ooh, the spikes down there. I didn't realise I've lost most... Yeah, you lose oxygen on spikes, which means I'm probably a balloon, not an egg. Oh. There we go. Anyway, yeah, let's move on from that. But yeah, that's a C64 game on stream for a change. As mentioned, I don't really get to do many C64 games, so, you know, I thought I'd have a look at that one. Now, we're going to go to kind of a Spectrum game. This is one of those Russian-Soviet bootlegs that was based on a Spectrum game. In this case, the Spectrum game Blackbeard. I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce the Russian name, but it's Blackbeard with a 6-minute timer and Russian text. I guess it was released in 1991, maybe? I don't know. But, the problem is, I don't actually know what you do in this game. I know you can go around and pick things up, you know. There's nothing up there to pick up there. And you can go down below deck, and you can shoot things. And it's quite slow. But it's not as slow as the Amstrad CPC version. The worst part of this to me is how close you have to be to the edge to push scroll it. Because you can walk straight into an enemy before you're just trying to scroll the screen, which is a bit annoying at times. I'm breaking the ship. Oh dear. But I fell down into the pink part of the ship. Now, does anybody know what you're meant to do in this game? Because I'd love to know. I'm falling down again. Now I'm in the red part of the ship. Yeah, I think this was 1991 as well, if that date is correct. Not even 87. But, yeah, Russia had a lot of Spectrum clones. And if anything, you know, some of them are more like the MAME Spectrum emulation because they didn't have the weight states or anything. And MAME Spectrum emulation doesn't have the weight states. So it's entirely possible that this is running just as it would have done on the arcade board. I think I must have picked up alcohol because I now seem to be drunk. Oh dear. I am a drunk pirate in the dark and I just got knifed. Yeah, the Spectrum is just a very popular machine in some of the lower cost regions. Had quite a following, quite a scene. I mean, I do question why you'd want to put a Spectrum in an arcade cabinet, or, you know, a Spectrum hardware in an arcade cabinet, and bootleg Spectrum games. But that's what happened. Unfortunately, I cannot read what it says. I'm assuming it's just basic instructions. If I wanted to know how to play the game, I'd be better checking the actual instruction manual for the machine. Also, yeah, I could probably stretch the screen a bit because this isn't going to be using border effects. But a bit late now, isn't it? Yeah, I don't actually know what I'm meant to be doing, unfortunately. Now, I can walk around the ship killing people. I spend 6 minutes doing that because they put the time in the bottom there. I've got 3 minutes 5 left on my credit. So, you know, it's not straight bootleg. They've translated to you know, the Russian. You can go down these steps normally without falling down if you want to. So they've translated it and they've actually built the timer into the game. So it's not an extra piece of hardware doing the timer. That timer logic has been put in the Spectrum game code. Hey Andrea, thank you for joining. Hope you're doing well. Find the vodka. I think I found the vodka last time and got drunk, the ogre. You must find the chests with pieces of mapping. So, oh, so I'm looking for the chests. Okay. Because this is not a game I had on the Spectrum. In fact, this is not a game I even knew about on the Spectrum. Which some people are quite surprised by, but I thought at the time the games you had were just based on what you could find for sale or what your mates had. And nobody knew had this game, and I never saw it for sale. I will probably look at the actual Spectrum version next because you get the idea. This is a version that was modified for the arcades in Russia. And now that you know, I've got a minute, or 2 minutes of this credit left, and then I'll load up the Spectrum version. And we can have a look at that. But note the timer is in the bottom right corner. I think I can die as often as I want. Actually, I think you get infinite lives on this version. It's just a case of you can only, you know, the time was your limit. And if you put more credits in, I think you get extra time. To open the chest, shoot them. Okay. I've not found anything that looks like a chest yet, unless I've not noticed their chests. There's going to be chests down here, though, surely. You'd put chests at the bottom of a ship. Ooh, knife. I do kind of like the way a lot of Spectrum games do use the darker colours, like the pink, dark pinks, dark magenta and dark red to indicate darkness. And if you were to go another level down into even further darkness, it'd probably use the dark blue. I mean, it looks crude these days, but it was a decent way of showing if an area was dark or not back then. Although that does mean these crates probably contain something radioactive. Well, these boxes, not really crates, are they? They probably contain something radioactive. I got stabbed again. I can find the torch to shoot the cannon, so badly's having fun. Interesting. So there's more to this than just being a simple walk around shooter. And there you go. Ran out of time, so I get the game over screen. But that's you know, this is what the Russian arcade's got. A modified version of Blackbeard. There's no... I need to put them in the proper playlist. I do have a playlist, but I never added the streams to them. So not at the moment, Andrea. Not at the moment. There's no list of streams at the moment. So let's just quickly look at the actual Spectrum version of that. Just so you can get an idea of, you know, what the game was before it got hacked up. I'm not going to spend too long on this because you've seen it. Speed through the loading. Now there is a block of data after the game on the tape here, which I'm assuming is like an end screen because it sounds like a screen. But, Spectrum tapes don't stop themselves, so there we go. So nice little loading screen. Got the same music. The loading screen is obviously cut from the other version. You can define your keys on this because obviously it's not using an arcade stick. So you can play. Apparently. Or maybe you can't. There we go. Now it works. So yeah, it's the same game. This is the Spectrum version. You can see it's got bullets in English. It's not got the timer in the bottom corner. But otherwise, you know, it's the same game because they did just take the Spectrum version, hack it up, and put it in the arcades. Now, I don't think you have infinite lives anymore, so you lose your lives and it's game over, unlike the arcade one where they just changed it to use the timer. Yeah, it's not the easiest to read text. It's not the hardest to read text either. I've seen some really hard to read text on these 8-bit games. Oh yeah, that was what got me drunk down here. Look, I'm all drunk again. There's a chest. There's a chest. Why didn't I find a chest last? Or even shoot in random directions when you're drunk. Oh, so in this version, I have actually found a chest. Does that mean I've got a map piece? Oh no, I've got more alcohol or something. I don't know. Lives are indicated by the flags at the top. The flag at the top, right? Ah, right. So does the flag go down as you lose your lives, or is it the skull and crossbone loses some of the parts of it? Oh, I see. Yeah, it changes the skull and crossbone. Okay, so yeah, they changed how the lives work, how the respawn works on the arcade version, and I lost my lives and straight back to the title screen. So that was a bit abrupt. So you can say they modified the game to try and make it work as an arcade game in Russia with a timer. They took out things like, you know, the credits. This was from 88, so yeah, it probably makes sense that the hack was from 91. The CPC version of that's a lot more colourful actually, but much slower. Might have a look at that later if there's time. But for now, we'll move on to something else. Let's go with an arcade game. Actually, yeah, let's go with Pirates. Or Pias, as the It is tends to be known. What about 4-player linked twin lap emulation? Final lap emulation. Twin cabinets. Yeah, definitely pie-ass. But the game is a Cabal style game, and it's actually a really good one. There you go.
The map of the treasure is in Piet's power. Help me to find it. It might be dangerous. You're strong and brave.
Yes, we will be looking at another one R09 in a bit, which is Buccaneers. This is a lovely credit sound, isn't it, Cal? I like the effort they've put into it, to be honest, though. I mean, for a Spanish game from a relatively unknown developer, there's a lot of effort gone into everything in this. The recording of the speech, the graphics, the stage design. It's not the zero effort game you might expect it to be. Shoot you. But it's got all the destructive scenery, just like Cabal and Blood Brothers have. So it doesn't seem to be a bootleg. It seems to be entirely original code. So they've just done a good job of being inspired by another game, rather than straight off ripping it up, straight off stealing from it. I'm not really sure why there's a witch, but maybe witches exist in Pirate Land. That's one way to get rid of you. You're hiding in the building, are you? That's funny. Not anymore, you're not. I do like how you can destroy everything, though. That's what makes these games fun, if you ask me. Shooting the wildlife. Shooting pirate ships on the horizon. Got good aim to shoot that far. Yeah, this holds up really, really well, and you wouldn't expect it to. In fact, I prefer Cabal, I think, but I definitely like this over Blood Brothers. The Sea Hag, yes, that probably is a Sea Hag, Ramses. That makes sense, actually.
You got it.
And it's not just got the same sounds stolen from other games. I mean, you see that a lot. But I think all the samples and all the speech in this game were recorded for this game. At least, things like that, you got it, I don't recognise from anywhere else. Oh, better not shoot there. This is now a game with cows in it. You see, I was kind to the cow. There's a bit less to destroy in this level, unfortunately. Game has cow, must be good. Yeah, I can add it to the list of games with cows in for a cow stream.
You got it.
I got it. Oops. You're back, Seam. Welcome back. I must have missed the message when you said you were going somewhere, but welcome back. This is Pirates, which is one of my favourites. I think the difficulty is probably set quite easy at the moment. I think you can knock it up a level if you want to. It's not the most difficult game by default, which might be one of the reasons I enjoy it, to be honest. I think it does have different difficulty options. Well, I'm still on from die. It is a shame there's less destructible in some of the levels than the other ones, but no. Ooh, there we go. 4 letters, that's unusual. Let's continue. I did not shoot the cow. Hey System 16, welcome. I hope you're doing well. You dumped one version of this, didn't you? The one with the updated credits screen, I believe. An updated copyright. Oh, there we go. The ship is sunk. Just danger. Oh, you have to pick up your son from scans. Alright, well, I don't think you've missed too much. We had a look at Blackbeard on the Spectrum and the arcade adaptation of it that was done for Russia. We had... What else have we looked at? We spent quite a lot of time on each game, actually, so far. A little flying pirate ship boss? That's kind of odd, but... Yeah, I think it was mainly just the credit screen had been updated, System 11. Credit text. There's some spelling corrections and the copyright year. Which kind of might make sense because the original dump we had of this came from the developers, so it might be it got changed between the copy they had and the actual final release. But it's a minor update. Yeah, I mean, the developer of the games had a PCB from when they made it. So that's where the first dump came from. But it's good to know there are versions out there in the wild, though, as you found, because there was some question as to if it had actually been released or not, but clearly it had, if you found a PCB. Also, the interesting thing with this hardware is everything is encrypted. The code is encrypted, the graphics are encrypted. It was a bit of a challenge to get it all running. I mean, Olivia had to decrypt the lot before we got anywhere. There we go. Yeah, everything is just really well drawn and animated, Robert. I just like the amount of effort that's been put into this game. I said that at the start. It's not zero effort. Well, that witch sound, I have to say, does sound a lot like one in Little Robin. Now this does have 2 players simultaneous if you have a friend, which means you can both be playing at once, which is a good feature. I mean, Cabal has that, Blood Brothers has that. It's fairly standard in these games. Maybe it's a shotgun parasol. I mean, she didn't shoot the cow, so that's all good. Unfortunately, I'm not very good at anything. We'll play this stage. We'll play a few more stages maybe, and then we'll have a look at another game, I think. With plenty more to go because, say, we're doing a lot of non-arcade things. I'll probably go with an educational game next, just to bore everybody to death. Although, okay, well, we've died now actually, so yeah, it's a good game, this one. If you've not played it, play it. But yeah, we'll move on to one of the plug-and-play educational units that was dumped. Now, I'm not going to spend too long on this plug-and-play because it's really quite dull. But it does fit the theme. This is Scooby-Doo and the Pirates Puzzles. This is a Sharp Cookie unit, which is a preschool educational type device. But it features Scooby-Doo and it features pirates. So I think it works for what we're doing here. Zoinks. Or zoinks. Or however you want to say zoinks. I'm not very good at voices. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo. But yes, it's a 2007 plug and play.
Scooby-Doo and the Pirates Puzzles.
And it's for very young children.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
There you go, Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Story mode. Options.
This just goes quick play because you can select the level you want.
Or hard. Hard.
Definitely hard. So there's 3 games in it really.
Mystery. Alphabet hunt. Number ghost.
So we'll go with
Alphabet hunt.
Shape Ship Mystery.
Press the button to select a shape and pick it up. Press the button again to place the shape. Fix the holes as fast as you can.
Because this is how you repair ships.
Press the button to begin.
So you find the Tetris piece and you take it to where it's needed. At least this is not a Tetris piece. And this is literally what this game is. And when the time runs out, nothing especially bad happens. The pirate jumps down
Yikes!
and chases somebody off. But that's not exactly the worst thing in the world that can happen, is it? Oh, no, I don't want to... There's only one button. The other button is pause. Ooh, get some Scooby snacks. Oh, and she's back. She's going to be chased off again, though, in a minute. Yes, Fred has to hurry. Fred doesn't understand... But yes, Fred... Oh, I'm trying to press a button to run, but there's no run button. The pace is just this slow. But here we go. Now, I don't know why we're repairing the ship for the pirate, but, you know, apparently that's what we're doing. Actually, no, let's not play again. I don't know if it gets any more difficult. I don't think it does in this one. Some of these, the more you repeat the game, the more difficult it gets. But this one, I think it just repeats it. So, yes, quit.
Scooby-Doo and the Pirates Puzzles. Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Story mode is just the games in order, by the
Or
way.
hard. Back to the menu. Number ghost.
So what's Number Ghost? Oh, look.
Uh-oh, it looks like the gang's in trouble. Press the button to
Lots of
select
trouble.
the door.
Lots and
Complete
lots of
all
trouble.
the puzzles to chase the ghost pirate away.
But, you know, there's no real value in these to me as games. But I'm glad they're reserved. You know, we've got all, as far as I know, all the Sharp Cookie units. What's the next in the sequence? It's definitely going to be 4, isn't it? So you get it wrong and you get chased by a pirate.
5.
Very, very basic stuff, but...
7. 9.
And it's telling you the sequence 5, 7, 9.
10.
Let's just go with the obvious answer.
8.
What's next?
6.
I select 6. Yeah, this is for preschool kids, Stephen. I think it's like for
4.
3-year-olds or something. But, you know, it's interesting to see where Scooby-Doo IP is being used. And it technically is a Scooby-Doo game that should be on lists of Scooby-Doo games. Yeah, I don't think it would appeal to me even as a kid. It is very basic. But I say that about a lot of these plug and plays. I mean, I said that about the Dora ones on my channel. And they're some of the most popular videos on the channel that I get loads of people commenting saying, you know, they loved them, they grew up with them, and it's like, oh, okay. I mean, I don't know. I know they wouldn't have appealed to me, but they must have appealed to a lot of people. Obviously, these are sort of the underdog games in the educational market. I mean, the V-Smile stuff really, you know, stole the market. There wasn't much room for these ones.
To sniff out an area. Press the button again to dig up a letter.
This
Find
one,
the letters quickly. Press the button to begin.
yeah, it's too hot for anything, System 11. I think we were saying that earlier. But yeah, this is just a maze game. You're just looking for the letter. You know, you're sniffing around. You sniff, it shows you where the question marks are. You pick up the letters. And these are your 3 games. I mean, there's a pirate up here. You know, you take a Scooby snack off you. You can sniff. I just want to sniff the pirate, to be honest. There we go. Sniff a pirate. It's Sniffer Pirate Day. But yeah, thank you for joining System 11, and you know, thank you for your contributions over the years. I hope you're doing well. Anyway, that's the Scooby-Doo plug and play that was dumped. Was it dumped this year or the end of last year? I think that was dumped earlier this year, that one. I'm glad it's emulated. It is one that I picked up and sent to Sean myself. Right. Okay, so let's have a look at a PlayStation 1 game this time. Knock to Neighbours Triover. I've not done any real work on the Big Run driver System 11. It's one of those horribly complex Jaleco setups, isn't it, with loads of CPUs. Yeah, a lot of the sets in that driver don't have various ROMs dumped in them on them. Probably the PROMs. Maybe they'll match other ones, but I think a lot of them don't even know what the PROMs are used for. Some of the extra ROMs are used for. It's a bit of a mess. Right, so this is Overboard, which I believe was a European-only game. Although, don't hold me to that, but I couldn't see a US version in the various sets. And this isn't actually in the software list. I had to add this myself, though this does need adding to the software list properly. But this is by Psygnosis. This mod is not working because there's some key titles that have significant issues still, although, yeah, the majority of the library does actually work fine. You had this, Andrea. Yeah, this was one of the ones I'd not actually heard of before, but when I was researching pirate games, it came up, and I wanted a game where you control the pirate ship and you're blowing stuff up. And it got tank control, so you rotate the ship, but it is of that era. But yes, you could say you are starting in the pirate bay, because that appears to be where I am. It's a bay, and there are pirate flags up. So, you go to the little gates, you collect your crates. You got a bit of a map, shows you where you've been, where you can go. You've got 2 different fire types. You've got single and side cannons. You blow stuff all along the way. There we go. Ooh, something firing at me. So yeah, it's a pirate ship action shooter. I really like the water effects too for a PlayStation 1 game. The reflection in the water. Obviously, it's a fairly simple game. It's not going to win any awards for complex gameplay, but it seems like fun. Now you see, I can take over this port, and I get some bonus items, and the flag changes to a pirate flag. Oop. Some more chests. There seems to be a counter for the bonus items at the bottom. So I've got 1 out of 19 chests. Got 2 out of 19. I don't know if there's a reward for getting all the chests, or if you need to get all the chests, because I've only played this briefly earlier to test it ran in MAME. Because again, it wasn't even the software list at the moment, so there was no saying if it would work or not. No compatibility flag for it. Oh yeah, and obviously these are a common sight in the sea, aren't they? Oh, there's a little secret area here. You get a cheer effect. Woo! You found the secret. You can also go fast. There's a go faster button. Final Lap needs one of those. You can switch the fire types. See, now I can fire out the sides or the other side. But that just use more bullets up, so more cannonballs up, so not always the best idea. That was a bit close. You don't want to set your ship on fire because that's bad. Final Lap needs a be better game, but that's controversial, Bob. Oh dear, that was a bit close. Now my ship's on fire. Put it out, put it out, put it out. Now the little guys do fly overboard when your ship's on fire. I don't know if there's any reason to try and run. You seem to get a bit of health back from them actually, yeah. So I guess you do have to try and collect them again if you're on fire. Here's another portal. Let's not fire straight into that. Oh dear. Come on. The music does seem a bit loud compared to the everything else, but that's not too bad. But yeah, this is a PlayStation game I'd literally never heard of until today. When it sinks the water up with that, yeah. I think this could have made a decent arcade shooter. If you'd given this 8-way controls, maybe, you know, Robotron style, I reckon you could have converted this into a fairly good arcade game, but that never happened. It was just one of those obscure European... Oh, I don't want to go this way. European PlayStation games, from what I can tell. I mean, I don't remember ever seeing a review of this back in the day. Oh dear. I did complete the first level early when I played this, but I wasn't trying to rush it. No, I was actually going the right way. Let's use my speed up button. Oh, not there. Now I think the ports do act as checkpoints when you take them over, so it's generally a good idea too. There we go. And of course you get your health restore, which would have come in handy when I died before. So I don't know why the arrow points that way, because as far as I know, you go this way. But, yeah. No. That was stupid. Get the treasure, get the chest. Health, that's handy. Now, I suppose there's some strategy involving using the side cannons that I'm not quite mastered yet, but there we go. You get to the end, level complete. Didn't get all the treasure. Can save the game at this point if I wanted to. Have I missed anything in the chat? Oh, this was on a demo disc. I didn't know that. It's not a demo disc I had then. It somehow just passed me by back in the day then. Maybe it was better known than I thought. I mean, it's Psygnosis. I would have thought it'd be quite well known. But I literally just never heard of it until today. What do I do here then? Oh, okay. I've got a different weapon now. There we go. It's not a very useful weapon for killing pirate ships, I have to say. But now there's things underneath. Ooh. That's a time gate, so yeah. You see, it gets a bit more complex. There's extra elements. There's different firing patterns. There's different weapons. It would be nice if it wasn't tank control, but this was a pre-dual shock, I'm guessing. Which actually, that might explain why I didn't hear of it, because I don't think I had any pre-dual shock PlayStation stuff. I think I got it after the dual shock. So this was probably maybe one of the ones that came out before I would have been into PlayStation stuff. That would explain a few things actually. Oh dear. Wait for the pirate airships. Well, I'm not going to spend too long on this one. I did just want to demonstrate it, so I'll probably move on now, actually. But yeah, this is a fun little pirate ship-themed shooter. But we should probably move back to an arcade game, so we'll do that now. There aren't actually that many arcade pirate games, is the problem. So, yeah, that's why there's quite a lot of non-arcade games being mixed into the stream. But we'll go with Captain Silver from Data East in '87. Not one of my favourite ones, this. But have a look. We'll have a look at it anyway. The MCU the 8751 was dumped and is now emulated a year or two back. So hopefully it still works as it's meant to. It should do. But sometimes there are teething issues, and I don't think anybody really plays this game. It helps if I'm actually ready. It said get ready, I was not ready. This is one of those with kind of bad animation, and you can lose lives mid-attack animation if the animation causes it to hit your arm, not the sword. And I don't know why you're being attacked by Cheshire Cats either. I don't know if this is sort of an Alice in Wonderland crossover, but yeah. I don't even know what the enemies are meant to be. What was on SMS and Famicom, Bob? I think I missed something there. You want this one? Yeah, most PCBs are absurdly expensive now, System 11, unfortunately. I've noticed every time I've asked, you know, if anybody can do any hardware tests, any game I've suggested, it's like, no, the PCB's like $500, $600, and it's not even a good game. Or was a game that was common a few years ago that is now just expensive. Don't think I can do anything with that, can I? But yeah, I mean, getting the PCBs to decap the MCUs is also, you know, really expensive, and it's a risky process. And you know, once it's done and you've got a good dump, you can repair any PCBs that broke in the process. But getting them to do it is, yeah, the situation is not ideal. Yeah, this is not my favourite Data East game. I need to develop a technique for it, to be honest. It's not one I really even play. It's one of those that doesn't feel smooth. The collisions feel a bit off. Like I just swipe straight through that enemy. And then you get your checkpointed, so you're back to the start every time. Yeah. It's understandable, System 11. But, you know, it's why I think why getting some of those Taito games for the C chips was so expensive. But they're all done now, thankfully. But that was a very risky process. And that's one way you can't just program another chip either, because it's all custom. Yeah, Robocop and Bad Dudes are far better. Probably a different team of developers. But this is one of those sort of games that feels like it's trying to be part of a new generation before they'd really worked out how to do games like this, as opposed to, you know, regular, more 8-bitty ones. You know, your single screen ones. That's at least how this one always felt to me. I mean, it's not as bad as some of the games we might look at in a bit, but yeah. So what's the fantasy element with this one? It's kind of a very confused pirate theme, I have to say. It's almost Peter Pan, isn't it? Fairies and... Well, we'll have a look at Peter Pan in a bit, because we'll be letting Hook shortly. Yeah, it is. The graphics aren't great. The artwork is definitely not Data East's best. Tom's Restaurant. No. Even buying some of these cheap plug-and-play things, people are starting to try and charge silly prices for some of them. It's just what people do. And again, there's huge risk dumping most of those, because most of them aren't standard ROMs. They're ones where you often have to sacrifice the unit to dump them. Or a lot of them are failing too. I mean, the juice box cartridges we picked up, looks like at least a handful of them have gone bad, the flash ROMs on them, because it seems like flash ROMs aren't as reliable as maybe we thought. You get bad blocks occurring in them. Good evening, Peter. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining. As I just mentioned, we picked up a few more juice box cartridges to get dumped. So they're on the way to Sean. Not that anybody cares about juice box cartridges that much, but better pick them up now before people start asking silly prices for those, because I've already noticed some people asking about $50 for a juice box cartridge. Luckily, you know, we got a bunch of them. We got about 24 cartridges for $30 initially. But yeah, there are already people, you know, really trying to take advantage of the situation. Couldn't duck quickly enough. Yeah, there's too many points in this one where you need quick reactions too, otherwise, you know, things will drop from above. And the contrast isn't great, you know, you can't always see. They do flash, but say the graphics aren't great, it's hard to make things out. Dual screens in the mid-80s. Some of those Nitsi Butsu ones from the 80s are quite interesting, but the supporting the LCD panels. I don't know if we've got any in MAME that are dual screen Mahjongs from the 80s. So Mahjong's not really something I follow, so I'd have to look up to see if there's anything similar. But yeah, dual screen Mahjong in the 80s. That's surprising, because a lot of the Mahjong PCBs are generally considered to be cheaper ones, and dual screen output would have added a bit to the cost. This is Captain Silver. It's 87 Data East, Peter. I mean, personally, I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, I do like a lot of Data East games, but this one feels... Again, it feels like a very Euro Amiga game, maybe more so an arcade. But we'll probably move on to another game in a bit now, actually, because I don't think I'm going to be getting anywhere with that one. So... Right, we'll mix things up a bit here. I mentioned that there were quite a lot of gambling type games that are pirate themed, so let's have a look at Pirate 2 by Igrosoft briefly. Not spending long on these because there's not really anything to show, but they've got some nice artwork for Z80 driven gambling machines. But in the end, you are just inserting a bunch of coins, selecting how many lines you want to play, and pressing the button and seeing what you win. Take, or yeah, I can only take, can't I? But if I put on the maximum, what's the maximum? No, yeah, you can get the help up. It looks pretty, but it is just a gambling game. What's the other button? Double is that one. So you get the card game, lower or higher. The card game's rigged. You can save state the card game all day, and you'll never win if it doesn't want you to win, because that's how these things work. So let's use all the lines. So pretty much everything on the PCB is just doubled up rather than it having a video chip that outputs double. Although, you do see those stealth gambling games where they've got like an entire SMS Master System or MSX section on the PCB, and then beyond that they've got an entirely different game, the poker game. It's just so they can switch between a Master System or MSX and the gambling game. So some of those, some of the companies did go to extremes, and I guess there was a lot of money in the gambling and the Mahjong. So, I guess it's a case of how much money do they think it's going to make. But yes, there's nothing really more to show with this. You've seen the bonus game, you've seen the bonus chess game. It's a pirate-themed gambling game. There's also Pirate 1, which I think has got a slightly different bonus game. But if you want to lose loads of virtual money, then you can play these. Or if you want to win loads of virtual money by cheating, you should catch the bootleg stream when I do that, because I'll be showing the exploits that are in some of these, the pirate versions of these, not the pirate, but not maybe a pirate version of the pirate version. I'm not sure. You know what I mean. Well, lots of games back in the day did use multiple CPUs, Wolf has. It was mainly the home computers that stuck to a single CPU back then. But there's loads of examples of machines with a ton of CPUs. Sometimes they just threw them on for the sake of it. I mean, the Mr. Do boards, is it Mr. Do Castle boards? They've got a CPU just for copying a sprite list. It's quite ridiculous. What are the extremes they went to. So yeah, that was Pirate 2, an Igrosoft gambling game. It's not much reason to play it unless you just like spending, gambling virtual money. Right, let's see if I've got this. We had a look at this on the Neo-Geo stream, but let's have a look at it again. Yeah, there's stealth gambling games with all sorts of extra hardware. Yes, I have been drinking the hazelnut rum because an extra pun. Or I could also drink the banana rum, or I could drink the other rum. There's plenty of rum here. There's a lot of rum here. So yeah. Anyway. But I've been drinking it from my glass. There's not that much left. It's rum and coke. It's quite watered down. But yes, it is the rum stream to go with the pirate stream. Speed up the loading. Right, so this is Treasures of the Caribbean, which again is not the original face prototype. This is basically a homebrew remake of what they thought the game might be from 2011, and it's not great. It's a very generic puzzle game, and I have a feeling the original would have been better. But we can do a CPU. Let's do a time attack. Fight against time. The graphics are very nice. Everything's really well drawn, really, for the presentation. At least the not in-game. So I'm not too keen on the in-game sprites, but yeah, the actual in-game game is just the most basic tile matching thing you could imagine. You match 4 tiles together, and that is it. It's barely worth playing. I'm really curious to know what the actual original prototype rather than this homebrew thing would have been. I say homebrew. It was developed for NCI so they could release it. It's not, free to download, freely available game in that sense. But I mean, it's not something that was done with the official SNK development kit. It was done with the, the homebrew development kits that are out. Malibu Black Label Rum. I've not tried that one. I can't remember seeing it myself. I do have a lot of rums here at the moment because I decided to just buy different rums to try them. Because I noticed how expensive everywhere has got, So I thought I'd buy a load of rums, see which ones I like. Not overly keen on this hazelnut one. It's not the best, but you have to find these things out. Can't really say which one's my favourite so far. Obviously we've got a bit of Kraken here. Kraken's always a safe choice for a nice spiced rum. Got some coconut rum as well up there somewhere. Not Malibu though, it's a different brand. So is there a way to make MAME run at a frame per second for debugging? You could run it on a Raspberry Pi cow. But in terms of a serious answer, I'm not sure you can make it run that slowly. I think there is a speed parameter where you can slow things down a bit. Well, that's not one I ever use, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, see, there's no real challenge to this game. It is just this, and it gets very boring very quickly. This is what I said on the Neo-Geo stream when I looked at it then. It feels like a homebrew game. It's got no unique concepts, no unique hooks, nothing. So I'm probably not going to spend too much longer on this one, because it's probably just as boring to watch as it is to play. So that was Treasure of the Caribbean. I ran the Neo CD version that time. I think the previous time I ran the AES version, but they're basically the same thing, right? Okay, this one is an arcade one, but I'll tell you now, you need to know Japanese. I can't play it. This is Captain Flag. Now, we were talking. System 11 was talking about Jaleco Cisco Heat style boards. This one's actually only got a single 68K, but otherwise it's a similar type of hardware, similar piece of hardware. Now this is one of those games where you've got to raise and lower flags based on what it tells you. Okay, I'll be you. Okay. So you move the flags up and down. The flags are physical flags on the machine that you move up and down based on what it tells you to do. But obviously it tells you what to do in Japanese, which is a little bit tricky. I mean, I wouldn't call it electromechanical. The flags do move up and down, but you also move the flags up and down to control it, I believe. Or you move. I'm not sure exactly. Anyway, the flags move up and down, either with a controller or you move the flag. I'm not sure. But so yeah, unless you know what it's actually telling you to do. Shiro equals white, Aka equals red. But then it tries to trick you, I believe. It like tells you the opposite and then says not at the end or something like that. I don't remember. I know it gets more complex. So yeah, you just see me lose because I don't know Japanese. But it's actually really well presented for a little simple little. I think it's probably a redemption game. I bet it pays tickets, doesn't it? Because it's got that very quick gameplay. But you know, for a Jaleco game, the presentation here is pretty good. That was good. Sounds like he's saying digital fungus. I'm pretty sure that's not what's being said. But yes, this is clearly set on a pirate ship, so this does count for the pirate game stream. Although, let's go with you instead. Anyway, I think we've seen enough of this game because, you know, unless I learn Japanese and remember it and know what is up and what is down and all the other ways it has of expressing it, all you're going to see is me repeatedly lose. But yes, Captain Flag, 1993 Jaleco. Yeah, there's some pretty good faces. But yeah, I can't really play that one. It's fun to have a quick look at, but you know, I cannot play it. Let's go with another one that's not going to take long. Another plug and play. This one, there was a preview image on the stream. So this is the MGT 20-in-1, a German plug and play that has some unique games in it that aren't found in other things. One of those is this version of Sokofan, aka Sokofan, because yeah, I don't know why. But this is clearly a piratey barrel themed thing with a dodgy looking Mario knockoff sprite. In the end, it is just water Sokofan, and I'm not good at Sokofan, so we're not going to get very far in this. Well, repeatedly lose is not good for me. It's good for the arcade operator. They would be taking lots of money off me. And the problem is, now I don't know how to do this level. I mean, I can push this up here, but this is probably a route to failure. Because now I probably can't do anything that I need to do with other pieces. I'm not good at Sokofan. No, I think I messed this up. Because once I push that against there, I can't do anything with it. So, yep, that's messed up. Plug and forget. I do find some of these interesting. So I've got to push one of these to the side, but I don't know which one. So what choice do I have? And if I push that there, then I'm in trouble there. It doesn't really start you with an easy level. That does surprise me. You would have thought, you know, they start you off with the second level being just as ridiculously easy as the first. But in fact, for a second level puzzle, this one is a bit trickier than I would have liked it to be. Not overly difficult, but still. Actually requires thinking. And yeah, I've messed it up again, haven't I? Because now I can't get around there. I must have to do this one first. I don't like Sokofan. I like what they've done with the theme on this one. I'm not going to lie. I do quite like that. Push that there, but this is going to be the same problem I had last time, isn't it? I'm just repeating the same mistake I made last time. I technically push that there. Does that help me? I don't want to push that right because then I won't get to do anything with it. But I can push. I can get around here. No, I can't do it, can I? Because I've got to push one of those pieces right. Pirate Pac-Man game. There's the pop. There's actually Buccaneer isn't a Pirate Pac-Man game. Is that the one? But yeah, I can't play Sokofan, so we won't play any more Sokofan. But yes, that's a pirate-themed Sokofan game in a plug and play. In fact, there was a. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Are we thinking of the Pac-Man hack Buccaneer? Because I can probably put that on if that's the one before we actually play Buccaneer. So this is a Pac-Man hack. Yeah, I guess this is the one you mean? System 11. And I played Higemaru earlier. But yeah, this is Buccaneer, which is a hack of Pac-Man with a slightly modified maze. Unfortunately, not modified sound. Yeah. I don't know why they made the sprite flicker on this one. It's the same on a few of these Pac-Man hacks. They have a flickery sprite and it is quite off-putting. Yeah, it's a fairly lazy graphic and maze hack, this one, compared to some of the Pac-Man hacks in MAME. This was one you could get as a kit for your Pac-Man PCB if you really wanted to hack it up to something that clearly, absolutely, definitely wasn't Pac-Man. I do like it when the maze is a bit different, especially when the maze still works with the AI. Yeah, Pac-Man Treasure, Pirate Treasure. Is it Tong Electronics? I will probably have a look at that one in a bit. We're only just under 2 hours at the moment, so we've got a fair bit of time to look at these things. But yeah, the graphics have been replaced by piratey things, treasure chests, money bags, Pac-Man sprite with an eye patch, and skulls. I mean, ghosts are fairly piratey anyway. They didn't even have to replace them, but I guess skulls are more piratey. Note, I have no Pac-Man strategy. As you see. Yeah, I think that's the one we're talking about. The pirate skin pot of gold thing. Pirate treasure, Mr. Agner. Sokofan isn't just MP complete, it's P-space complete. Not only there are no known polynomial time solutions, but it also takes a polynomially increasing space to solve. Okay, I'm not going to feel too bad about my brain's inability to play Sokofan on stream then. I guess if you like Sokofan, then you probably like quite a few of those plug and plays, because most of them have got some kind of Sokofan game in. Although a lot of them just seem to have the same puzzles, whereas that one did actually need to have some different puzzles. So, yes, maybe I should actually concentrate on playing Buccaneer Pac-Man. And not do that. Because I surely have to get past this level. Or not. Or not. Is it Tong or is it Tang? Sorry, I'm sorry. Pile of God. I think it's one. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Shall I put that on next, actually, because we're mentioning it? So, see, it's a 4-letter developer. Pirate's Treasure, wasn't it? Yeah, that's Tong Electronics. Yeah, I think it is the same as the Beezer. Beezer's an interesting game, but it's got some fatal flaws in the gameplay. And the later set tries to fix some of them, but actually makes the game worse. Yeah, I think everybody who saw a Pac-Man would have put some coins into it, Stephen. It's just one of those games. That's why it's such a popular game. Well, some humans can do Sokofan relatively easy. I don't mind doing it when I've got time to think and I'm trying to talk at the same time. So you control the red ship. Your goal is to get to the treasure. The black ship will try to catch you. So I don't know if this is a game for kids. I seem to remember it's a fairly easy game and you can eventually crash it. So you go over the islands. You can play it for ages and then the game crashes. Because I think it runs out of levels. Doesn't know what to do. Get the treasure. Treasure of Captain Hook. What an original pirate name. It gets a bit faster. You get the treasure. In fact, yeah, you just go straight to the treasure. Get the treasure of Blackbeard. We already played Blackbeard's game earlier. You've stolen the treasure and moved the treasure. What a terrible black ship. yeah, we've got the treasure. Yeah, I think it's like Tugboat, isn't it? Wolf House. They were designed for kids. And that's probably why you can eventually crash the game, because they didn't expect anybody to play it for that long. They didn't expect adults to be playing it. But I think it just eventually just run out of pirate names and starts messing up. And you just start near the treasure sometimes. It's like, okay. Peg leg Pete. So yeah, there's not much of a game to this one, unfortunately. Hey Rock1B, thank you for joining. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. I don't think it's using the Sinister soundboard. I seem to remember Sinister sounds a lot better than this. But I haven't looked at the source code. Oh, so, thank you to Paolo for subscribing. I did miss a subscription earlier as well, now thinking about it. So sorry to whoever that was. I made a note to read it out, then forgot to look at the screen. Ya ha ha, dead men tell no tales. Okay. Pirate 1, Captain Hook. So have we looped already? I guess we have. Or something. I don't know. Maybe is it Leprechaun that crashes it? This one, I can't remember. Yeah, Mopit Video, a trading name for Tong Electronics. Yeah, this is where, look, it's sort of gone wrong. And it always crashes in MAME. And it always has as far as I know, but I don't know. Eventually, at some point, that game always crashes. I don't. Maybe it's an emulation bug. Maybe it's just, you know, time to get off the machine and the game maybe reset. I really don't know. Maybe it can be fixed. Maybe nobody cares. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Okay. Shall we go for another plug and play? Let's bring up the PDC 200. That's got some pirate themed games on. Thinking of making a multiple plug and play unit. That's a no. Did you ask if it still was the crash was fixed? I don't know. So I've missed something there, haven't I? Ramses. Anyway, table. On the table. Crazy pirate. No, I did eventually work out how to play this game. It took me a while. You can only fire cannons when there's 3 things connected together. Or more. Eventually, things attack you. At least they're meant to. There we go. So, load up the cannons and fire at you. Load up the cannons and fire at you. So yeah, it's a base defense type game. Let's fire at you. Sorry, I'm just going to check, see if I missed something. There was a recent game called Pirate Ship added that I'll be looking at a bit in Peter, the Konami one, the Redemption one. What have I missed? What have I missed in the chat? Okay, I can't see what I meant to have missed. I thought I'd missed something, but I obviously can't see. You mean Battle for the City, Rockman? You asked a question. Oh, is the Raspberry 3 or 4 strong enough to run the current builds? 4 can run a lot of stuff, but it depends what you want to run. You're still stuck pretty much with the RetroArch offerings, because there's I think there are other performance issues with the regular builds. I don't know. It's not really highly recommended that you use a Pi, but a 4 does have the CPU power. I don't know. I've tried. Somebody was trying to say that they couldn't get regular compile to run properly. Like the video output didn't work. I don't know. It's not my field. MAME on the Pi, unfortunately, Rockman. Pi 4 overclock can almost barely run at full speed. Taito F3 at full speed. And that's a shame because I still want to make some Taito F3 emulation improvements, which will probably take it below full speed because that tends to be what happens. But yeah, now you see you've got a different layout to level, and you know, as a simple sort of base defense puzzle game goes, this isn't all that bad. And then again, I've said this before, a lot of the ones on these PDC units are pretty good if you like decent quality plug and plays with some thought to the game design. I mean, you've obviously seen this type of thing before, but it's well executed and it's actually fairly good fun. So, yes. Anyway, Peter mentioned this one. It's the Konami Redemption game. It's an American version, oddly enough. And most of the Konami dumps have been Japanese versions, but yeah, 1995 Konami. There are a few video emulation issues, but this one was added fairly recently. And for a Redemption game, it's pretty good looking actually. Oh, work RAM error. Sorry, it's the usual Konami trick, isn't it? Game mode. There we go. Ahoy, Treasure Island. The treasure awaits. Now, I think there may be some layer offset issues with the sea because it looks like the sea's maybe 10 pixels too low on some of these scenes. There's a bit of a gap there. Some priority issues with the ships and the other text. But otherwise, it's actually a well-presented Konami Redemption game. Now, I might do an entire theme on Redemption and ticket games. I know it's not going to be the most thrilling of streams to do, but there have been a lot of Konami Redemption games added in the last few years. And while, you're going to get about a minute of gameplay out of each of them, I could probably do a short, an hour and a half stream where I look at a bunch of them. Dead Storm Pirates. I've never heard of it. I'm guessing it's a more modern PC one. Let's go to the South Isles. Let's go. We have to get treasure. It's just up, down. Okay. Don't crash into the ships. Oh dear. I probably pressed the pay out ticket button. So yeah, the dial sensitivity I think I need to turn up. Or the dial digital speed. Something like that. Let's try again. Let's see if I don't crash it this time. Yeah, that's a bit new for running in MAME System 11, so no, that one doesn't run in MAME. Left and right are swapped. Oh, I swapped them by mistake. Nope, I'm going to have to swap them here. But, no, I'm going too fast. But as you can see, you collect the coins, and if you collect enough coins and don't crash, and get to the goal, you'll win tickets. Yeah, Time Crisis 4 is well outside of what MAME does at the moment. Sinking. Yes, I'm sinking. Because I crashed. But yeah, a full sprite scaling redemption game is unexpected. I mean, Sega had some System 18 hardware. I think there's that... is it an Ultraman Racing one? You've got 3 different scenarios here. You've got this stormy waters. Oh, the ticket. Yeah, I don't think the ticket mechanism's hooked up correctly, and I think if I hit space by mistake, it tries to print a ticket. So don't do that. So we can have a look. Oh, we're back on South Isles. Okay, okay. But yeah, it's interesting to see the amount of effort that was put into some of these redemption games. And this is no exception. I don't know how you slow down to avoid things. Nope, I missed that. Oh, there we go. Some treasure chests that I missed. A pirate ship that I didn't miss. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, pirate themes ended up in quite a lot of redemption games and gambling games, because I think it's that whole, you know, you're going to get the big treasure, you're going to win all the money. It kind of works for that type of thing. So this isn't really surprising to find it here. Oh dear. Well, I still have 1 ticket. I'm sinking. I don't know where they are, Bob. Oh, a ticket error because, yeah, it's game over. So let's have a look at the stage we didn't have a look at, which is a fantasy stage, maybe? Atlantis, okay. Target 2,000 points. That's not happening. They should have seen me play final lap before they agreed to let me drive the ship. It does have really good artwork. You know, it is just a redemption gambling game, but there is a significant amount of work gone into it. Which is often the case, actually. Look, there's quite a lot of the gambling games that have surprisingly good artwork, or, you know, some of the very simple short games that do. That MLC system, rock, paper, scissors thing, Data East hardware, has some really good animations, even though there's barely a game in there. In fact, it's probably the best looking of the software on the MLC system. I mean, that's not really a challenge, but goal. I definitely didn't get the target of 2,000 points. I can go to Treasure Island though. Ooh. Or I cannot. Ticket error. Okay, well, I think maybe the ticket mechanism needs hooking up at some point, but yeah. Right, one that seems to have quite a few controls, so I might not be able to play it properly because I couldn't find a manual. This is Swashbuckler for the Apple II. At least with the ticket redemption games. Yeah, you always win tickets that are worth less than the money you put in them. Now this is an early fighting game. Hey Christian, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. And good afternoon, or night, or evening to you too. So, is it loaded? This does work because I tried it earlier. There we go. Oop, better slow down the speed. So you've got left and right, which move you forward and back. You've got change direction, You've got stab forward. You've got, I think that's guard up. And there's guard down, so I can wave my stick around, my sword around like this. I don't know if there's any other buttons. These are the ones I'm aware of. If there are other ones, I don't know them. There we go. Now you're on this side. Got ya. Hey, have you played Swashbuckler before, Christian? An Apple II game from back in the day? I certainly hadn't. This is one of the ones that was suggested on my Twitter account when I asked for suggestions for pirate-themed games, and it was definitely not one I was aware of. But it is definitely a piratey-themed game with a very good aesthetic. I like the whole wooden look. I mean, they might be very simple, almost monochrome sprites, but the way they've done the borders with all the wood and the skeletons, it does look like you're fighting on a ship. Yeah, I was impressed by the technical side of things here. What do I do now? Yeah, put that down and block that. Still got you. It moves quite slowly, but again, you wouldn't expect it to move too quickly. No, it's not too bad at all. I mean, considering this is early 80s, I think this is like 82. This is way before your Street Fighter type games. And it's not a bad one at all. I think this is what all the game is. I don't think it really develops much beyond this. But you can't really expect it to for when it was released. You drunk too much and see strange colours. Yes, the Apple games do kind of have a distinctive look in terms of the colour, and I guess the colour artifacting. And it appears to be loading something. Don't really know what it tried to load then. It loaded a different pirate. Ooh, you ducked. Got you. So yeah. Oh, what did I do then? I think it got me in the back. I don't really want to play Monkey Island on this stream, Andrea, because it's a bit too slow paced. You know, you have to play it for about 20 minutes to really get into it. I do love Monkey Island. That's why I've got the Ghost Pirate LeChuck T-shirt on here. But it's not really one that fits the format of these streams, I feel. Although, yeah, Monkey Island is obviously one of the absolute all-time best pirate games ever. And we often have one of the ScumVM developers in the chat as well, which is the way many people play Monkey Island. So if Thomas is still here, you can thank Thomas for his work on ScumVM. We have a little bit of different background going on. Okay, so it does mix things up a bit. We've got more different enemies. So, it does more than I realised. The fighting doesn't seem to have changed much, but... Ooh, Scorpion. Oh, didn't guard in time. Don't know where my lives counter is. I'm assuming it's somewhere. I'm assuming I'm running out of them. Yes, the Ghost Pirate LeChuck. Treasure Island on the Spectrum is on my list of games to potentially look at. Yes, Mick. I think I did look at the similar game. What was it called? The one that's practically the same game without the annoying initial screen that was on the CPC and a few others. The Willow Pattern, that's the one. The Willow Pattern and Treasure Island are very similar games by the same developer. But yeah, I'll have a look at Treasure Island in a bit. Although, if I can get past the first screens, that is a real challenge. Anyway. Oh, I think I game over there. I didn't beat the default high score of 199, but I did have a swashbuckling good time on an Apple II game. I know people have expressed interest in me playing more Apple II games, so there you go. That was an Apple II game. I'll take that as a request for the Treasure Island, in fact. Now, Treasure Island is one of those where the MAME software list definitely needs cleaning up because it's cloned from completely the wrong game, because it's one of those, the short names are automatically generated and still need a bit of tidying up. So this set name here is nonsense, and it's cloned from, I think, Treasure Hunt when it shouldn't be, and the Treasure Island text adventure. And anyway, here we go. This should be the right version. Mr. Micro. Old specky game. One I grew up with. One I don't especially remember being very good at. One where I remember the first screen being a nightmare even back then. But for some reason in my head there are lots more enemies on the screen than there actually are. But yeah, the collisions in this are shocking, unfortunately. And it was a little bit too fast in MAME, I think. But, you know, the collision boxes around these things are nowhere near where you think they are. And then you have to get this exact right place to get it there. Then this section is a timing thing. And you have to get this right too. Jump into the hand. Oh, a coin detected in pocket. Come on, little prompt then. I will say thank you in a moment when the prompt comes. So yeah, I can spend forever trying to get past this one. Alright, I don't know if the alerts are broken or just delayed, but thank you, Mick, for the €20 donation there. There we go, it's come through now. So thank you, Mick, for the €20 donation. It's much appreciated, and you know it'll help with the stream. It'll help chop the cost of some of those what they call juice box cartridges we've been picking up. It'll go towards some of the drinks that have been consumed on the stream, and so yeah, it's always appreciated. So thank you much for that, and I hope you've been enjoying the stream. Now, this is one of the early Spectrum games to actually use border effects as well. You notice it's splitting the border colour using a timing effect. And there we go. This is the awful collision killing me. So you lose half your... If you lose too many lives in this section, you may as well just start over. This isn't even the main game. This is sort of the introduction to the game. That's the funny thing. And yeah, most of the time I played it on the Spectrum as a kid, I didn't get past this screen. And then the collision is so bad that sometimes you can't move when you want to move because you're colliding against the background. Ahem. So yes, the second section of this game, the actual main game, is kind of interesting, and I can see why the game ended up being released as the Willow pattern, with this sort of bit this first bit taken out, and this becoming a bonus thing to get between areas. Wasn't near enough the edge, but you know, just getting to the game is a challenge. So we'll try again, and then we'll jump off there. There we go. We're actually on the game now. Now you get the pirates to throw the sword at you, and then you run away, and then you throw it back, and there you go. But there are lots of rather nasty elements to this game, because you can end up dead in a hit because you walk onto the screen where the enemy is. I can't do anything with that enemy yet. I might have messed it up now because I might have killed the only enemy that throws a sword. That wouldn't be good. Oh no, there's one down here. So I can get a bit further. Can I actually kill you? No, I throw my sword away and can't get past him. So yeah. The jumping bit is in Willow pattern, but it's not straight away, is it? It's to get it. You move between different part of the actual map with it. You start on the actual map, and you have to do it to cross a river or something like that. I seem to remember. But it's funny how the same game got re-released. But yeah, this is a game I do struggle with. I struggled with it back in the day. I struggle with it now. I don't think it's a bad game. It does have some design flaws. It should really just restore your lives when you get to this point. But it doesn't. Didn't throw it close enough. Anyway, let's just go this way and throw a sword at you. And you do throw a sword, so we can throw a sword at you. So we go this way. Now, if I go on the bottom, you know there's a pirate at the top there. If I was to take the top exit here, I would die instantly by walking to that pirate there. Unless you already know it's there, we'll just kill you. You can get a sword off him though, so that's one good thing. Now, there is an objective for this game. It does have an end. Yeah, he's not going to throw anything. Do you throw anything? You do, and you kill me. Right, but I'm going to take you out with it. You throw a sword anyway. You throw a sword. There we go. You throw a sword. No, you see, we're doing a little bit better now. We're getting into the swing of it. Yeah, Willow Pattern's a reworked version of this game, very, very clearly. You don't throw anything, so if we're going to get past you, we have to find a sword from somewhere else. I think they realised there were elements of this that could be improved, so they reworked it as Willow Pattern. Because you can get stuck in this where there's nothing left to do as well. There's certain enemies you don't want to kill because there's no reason to kill them. You just got to remember they're there and not walk into them. You really need to make yourself a treasure map, which I guess makes sense. A little map of where everything is, so you know where you got to go. Yeah, let's take you out. Oh, got me. Can I get this one without getting killed? No, not like that. 11%. I don't know. They're just obviously as good at throwing things as I am. If I play in D&D, I often end up providing my enemies with weapons in D&D. So, you know. Anyway, shall we have a quick look at Willow Pattern 2? I mean, was Willow Pattern on the Spectrum? It was on the CPC. I think it was on the Spectrum. I think I might have played on the Spectrum before. Yeah. Okay. So as was mentioned, Willow Pattern is basically the same game. And as such, it probably makes sense if we take a quick look at it. I think it might be slightly too fast due to Spectrum timing things in MAME, but I'm not sure. I can't actually remember how fast it's meant to be. This is my honest opinion. Honest opinion? Honest opinion. You know what I mean. Honest take on it. I don't know. So this was Firebird's The Willow Pattern. It's got a bit of music, you see. They've added something else to it. But it starts like this. And this is slower paced. But you can see you've got your pirates. But yeah, you get your swinging thing here. And now it's like this. With giant Lego men. And it's a bit easier again. Do you throw something? No, you don't throw anything either. So then you've got to go back though, unfortunately. So you have to do the section more often, which is the trade-off, I guess. But yes, they do just look like Lego people. And you get more lives too, which I'm wasting. In fact, I may as well just waste them now, because it makes more sense if I start again. Because now I know that I need to go and get some swords. There you go. See, the graphics are much improved in this version. But yeah, it's the same game. I think you can only carry one at once, so don't pick up a second one and waste it. This is unfortunate. Yes, it's a very similar game, but it is a bit easier. Now, I didn't have this one as a kid. I only found out this one existed more recently. And I was surprised because yeah, there's multiple places this happens in this one as well. So again, it's easier to do, but you have to do it more often. It's exactly the same hand animation. Oh, and that's a bad place to go because it's still got that floor where there'll be pirates on the edge of the screen for you to run straight into. But yeah, that was Willow Pattern, the slightly alternate take on it. But they've obviously cleaned up the graphics, modernised it a bit, and made it into a more palatable game, but it's not perfect. Right, back to arcade. We've got about half an hour of the stream left, according to my timer. So, right, now this is Buccaneers. This did just get a release on the Amstrad CPC, actually, which is apparently a resurrected code base from back in the day that was finally finished off. But I've not picked up the CPC disk image to test it in MAME yet. I was going to, but I ran out of time, so that's one to look for yourself. Now, this seems to be heavily based off both the Vigilante hardware and maybe some of the code. I mean, all the RAM addresses are different, which might mean it's not a straight-up hack of the Vigilante code, but the hardware is a clone, and there are some similarities in the game. Yeah, this one doesn't play too well, does it, Christian? No, I think some of the sound effects are straight from Buccaneer, from Vigilante. It's a very short game too, from what I remember. Now, I don't know why the game wasn't released on the CPC back in the day. Maybe it had something to do with, you know, some of it not being quite 100% as legal as it should be. Oh, and I got barreled. Your very awkward jump. Very slow movement. Ooh. Ooh. So yeah, this is the final lap of this stream. I say that after playing some truly awful games. I do need to do another one that was recommended on Twitter in a bit too. Oh. Also, you know, there's Game Boy Advance games as well, the Pirates of the Caribbean ones that I've not had a chance to do yet. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to do those on stream. But one of the Game Boy Advance games was done by Amaze, who was the same studio that did some of the plug and plays we've been looking at. There we go. Beat up the fat pirate. Congratulations, be ready for the next mission, the town. Oh, I've not played Black Witch. I'll have to maybe look that one up later, Stephen, and possibly if it runs in MAME, have a see if I can do it on a didn't make the cut type stream. Because sometimes I will do probably more of those didn't quite make the cut streams, where I look at things that I didn't get a chance to look at on the theme streams, because I did one at the start of June. You just walk so slowly in this. It's a wonky barrel. Why are you attacking me? I'm trying to clear the street of all these nasty piratey people. Are they not just the Vigilante samples, Peter? I mean, it's clone Vigilante hardware. I thought the samples were straight from Vigilante. You're another big pirate. I actually like the art on this better than Captain Silver, but yeah, the gameplay on this is really quite bad. And slow, and the animation is not good. Static screenshots, I think this looks better. Playability, no. A lot of stuff's not in the software, this for the C64, unfortunately. It's quite frustrating. Same for the Commodore 16, which is why I have no idea if I was not loading things correctly or if they just don't work. Yeah, the thing is, System 16 is, if you look at the RAM addresses everything uses on this, they're not the same as Vigilante, which means the actual code base must have been seriously reworked. It's not, you know, otherwise you'd expect live counters and score counters and credit counters to be at the same addresses, and they're not. So I'm not 100% sure what happened. It's not like some of the Korean hacks where, you know, you can tell it is just because everything's literally the same addresses. Guns don't help matters. And now apparently we're checkpointed and go back to the start of the stage. Wonderful. Now one of the clones of this is listed as harder. I don't want to play that one because I think it's hard enough. Oh yeah, if you press fire when you're jumping, you do that somersault. So there you go. There was a less than a perfect word in the chat, but I'll let through the occasional one. But anyway, that was yeah, Buccaneer, which is possibly a hack of Vigilante, but at the same time doesn't quite feel like one. Difficult to say. Very difficult to say. Definitely the cloned. Definitely cloned hardware, definitely stolen sound from what I remember. But, not sure. Right, this is one that was suggested on Twitter. And this is an Amstrad CPC game, which I'd never played before. Like many Spanish games, there are two parts to this one, which are kind of different games, so you get to choose your part at the start. Your name is Blue, the ogre. You are capable of approving and disapproving things, but say, generally everybody here is well behaved and it's not a problem. So, you know, if messages get stuck in moderation, I tend to just approve them unless it is somebody trolling. But we don't seem to have many problems with that here, which is good. So, Caraccios, which I guess means pirates or something. It's by Oprasoft, Spanish game. Some nice graphics, but like many Spanish games on the CPC, the frame rate is... oh dear. Well, I fell down a level. That's not good. But it's a Amstrad CPC beat 'em up with pirates. That to an extent, because I could fall down the cliff, was reminding me of the Indiana Jones arcade game. But I don't know why. I don't know if there's any more complex moves than kick and punch with slightly rough animation. But it is definitely a pirate-themed game. Shame it's got no music in game. 4 enemies moving around at the same time is not bad though, really, for an 8-bit beat 'em up, although they don't move very smoothly. Now, I'm sure I'm going to die very quickly and game over very quickly, because the other thing with Spanish CPC games and Spanish arcade games is they're very difficult. There we go. It's not quite Renegade, no. And the CPC did have a good version of Renegade. Actually, I don't know how to not lose health, which is a kind of big issue with this type of game. There must be a way to do it properly that I'm not quite getting. The controllers are quite unresponsive though. So it's not one I'd heard of before, ever. So when it was suggested in the on Twitter, and it was definitely a pirate game, I thought, well, I'll check it out, see what it's like. I can kind of see why it's not one I see many people raving about. And yes, it's far too easy just to do that and fall off the edge, which is bad for you. Or maybe it's not bad for you. I didn't seem to actually lose any health doing that. But my power is going down very quickly. I don't know how to restore my power. And that's probably game over again. So, yeah, I'm not very good at this. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know. I don't have a strategy for it. You can jump, but you can't seem to. Well, you can jump kick. Maybe jump kick's a strategy if you do it correctly. Maybe I just have to jump kick them to death. But your power seems to go down anyway. I don't know. Or maybe it's not. So that was maybe... So maybe this game is called Flying Kick Pirates. Because apparently they don't like flying kick, using the flying kick against them. If you can pull it off. Quite hard to see what's going on as well a lot of the time. And now with more enemies on the screen, the controls are even less responsive, which is not perfect. I've got groups of enemies here though. That's usually a good thing in fighting games. Oh, right, I beat them without dying. I've still got 410 power left. It's a Spanish game. It's going to be tough. That is the thing with Spanish games. But it's got a multi-directional scrolling. I mean, it's better than Double Dragon 3 was. You know, I played Double Dragon 3 on the Bad Game stream, and this, even if it's slow and doesn't have the best animation, is still better than Double Dragon 3. Although, it does seem flying kicks are possibly one of the most effective strategies. Although my health is really low now. Yeah, I'm dead again. Better than Double Dragon 3 is a very low. It's possibly the lowest bar you can have. Right, can I reset this without it getting confused? Yes. Right, as I say, there are two parts to the game. And I think this is probably a cracked disc, because on most of these you'd have to use a password to access the second part that you get at the end of the first part, and this doesn't ask me for a password. Oh. So, this is the second part. And this time it's turned into more of a scrolling platform game. Although it's still ridiculously difficult. I get thrown all the way backwards. Now I think power is just my lives, because it was 5 and now it's 4. And I got hit by a parrot and lost another one. And it's got a jump animation like Buccaneers. And honestly, I don't have a clue what I'm doing. You can't seem to attack when you're jumping. If you're crouching, you stand up. The bird got me from behind. Yeah, I think the first part was better. As soon as you get close to him, he just throws you away though, and you lose a life. I feel like I'm missing something here. Oh, and then she gets pushed off there. She gets pushed off the plank and obviously gets eaten by a shark. And then it's game over. So, yes. I can't work out how to play the second part. But it's interesting that there are 2 parts, and they're different games. One's a side-scrolling beat-em-up, the other is a platformy beat-em-up. Neither seems great, but that might just be me. You know, I'm willing to say it might just be my inability to play the game. So where are we going to go next? I suppose. I mean, let's go for another arcade game. Skull and Crossbones by Atari in 1989. This is not an Atari game I've ever really played much of, so I got the good ending. Yeah, that was definitely the good ending. Didn't like her anyway, and the shark got fed, so the shark's not going hungry. So health and wealth are your meters here. Oh look, I can insert more coins for more health. That's very Gauntlet-like. Start game with any button. Move pipe with joystick. Turn pipe with turn button. Fight using joystick and sword button. Okay. 2 pies. This suddenly feels very fast compared to the game we just played. Coins give sword power. Oh, I can't attack the parrot, that's a shame. Visually, I like the style they've got going on here, the cartoony style. What's happened? The evil wizard took all our booty. Okay, let's go medium. So I've really never played this before. It's an Atari one that's completely slipped under the radar to me. I'm chopping your sword up. I just want to kill the parrot, okay? Okay, I'm sure the parrot's actually helping me, but I don't like the parrot, he's annoying. Yeah, the paper effect is really good actually, that's a really good transition. You don't really get that many fancy transitions like that in games. Especially not ones that are customised to the game. You get a lot of generic ones, but that was a transition that's really customised to the style of the game. You are a very annoying parrot. So you control the sword movement with the joystick. I guess I go down here, don't I? You've got a turn around button, so yeah. It doesn't play quite as you'd expect a beat 'em up to play. But yeah, for some reason this one's completely bypassed me the entire time. And that's there was a NES version of this, but it doesn't run in MAME for some reason. Wizard's fireballs stun you. That's not a fireball, that's a lightning ball. Very good music as well. Atari just ended up really going downhill at the start of the 90s and never quite recovering. I meant to be doing something here, other than fighting off endless waves of enemies. Oh, I can go through there now. Okay, right. Hurry up. So the parrot tells you to hurry up. So yeah, you stand on those. Those are special move to next section based markers, really, aren't they? It's still not animated the best, but there's a good visual style going on here. It is a bit of a credit muncher because you just buy health with credits. Sure. Stand on here, I get to swing there, yeah. What time are we on? 10 minutes left of the stream, so we'll play a little bit more of this and then maybe look at a classic home game or something. That was awesome. I left 350 booty around. Pirates continue to search. So another ship battle. I mean, the parrot is as annoying as Bubsy. Or maybe Awesome Possum. Maybe this is a previous incarnation of Awesome Possum. That's how I did just want to, you know, stab the parrot, but... I have not played Claw, the PC platform game from 1997, Ramses. What type of game that? Is that another pirate game? No, the blocks scrolls on characters aren't great. I mean, this does feel a little... It's not a block scroll on this one, like the CPC game, but it does feel a bit jumpy, unfortunately. Feeling better. Very dramatic music. My health is running low. I did put a lot of credits in, so that's why I've had so much health as it is, but it's almost out. I guess this is 2-player, not 4-player, because there's only a second player thing at the bottom. Yeah. It's nice the way they've done the sword fighting mechanic. It's a bit different. It's, you know, you've got different joystick directions for different attack types, which gives you a lot more control than some similar games. Oh dear. That's an overly dramatic death sequence if I've ever seen one. And a second game over counter? Okay. Individual character countdown and a main game over countdown. Interesting. So yeah, not one I'd played before. I think it's got potential. It does feel a little rough around the edges, but I like the presentation on it. Is fantasy really a pirate game? It wasn't on my list as a... We can have a look at fantasy briefly. For some reason it wasn't one that immediately came to mind. I was going to have a quick look at Penguin Brothers as well, because that's got a pirate ship theme at the start, although then it quickly changes away from that. And I wasn't really wanting to do just pirate levels, so that was lower in the list. I can have a look at fantasy. I seem to recall looking at it on stream before. Pirates in it. Okay, let's have a little look at it. Fantasy, Rock-Ola, SNK game, isn't it? Yeah, it's got ships. Quite loud. Yeah, I guess it's piratey. Oh dear. Admittedly, I don't know what I'm doing. Nope. Go down here and rescue you, I'm guessing. I guess it feels a bit more medieval fantasy than necessarily pirates. Yeah, staying away from cannons is generally good life advice, especially loaded ones. Stay away from coconuts too. Oh dear. Yeah, maybe not quite as piratey as I was hoping. Okay, I'm going to play one actually that there is an arcade version of, but the arcade version does not work because it's not been properly decrypted. The MCU on this one has been decapped, but the encryption still remains a problem. And that is High Seas Havoc, or Captain Havoc. You're off, Andrea. Okay, take care. I'll see you at another time. But yeah, this Data East did a Mega Drive-based arcade board for this one. It's possible they're meant to be samples. Maybe it requires samples. Maybe the speech chip's not emulated or something. Or sample chip's not emulated. System 11. There's bugs flying around in here now. Yeah, that's because I've got the window open still. And it's dark outside now. So, window closed. So yeah, I'd really like to get the arcade version of this running. But I've completely failed to decrypt it every time I've looked at it. Codemasters did license this one. Yeah, I tend to run without samples. If something requires samples, I usually prefer to wait until the emulation's proper. I'm not a big fan of having to rely on samples. I'd rather go without than use samples. So yeah, this is one of those rare platform games, and if the arcade version was emulated, it would be a rare arcade platform game. That's what I was wanting to say. Because there aren't many arcade platform games. Now the arcade hardware is just Mega Drive hardware, so it would be very similar. Might have the levels reorganised or something like that, but there's large parts of the data are the same. It's just unfortunately the one of the key parts of the code that is different is the bit that I've not managed to decrypt. And I think the pick sits on the bus and swaps between encryption modes or something like that. So I'm not doing very well at this. Yeah, Captain Lang, High Seas Havoc. Is it not Captain Havoc? Is it Captain Lang? That's the one. Yes. Kind of Sonic influence in a way. You can look at the platform designs; they're quite Sonic. It's kind of a Strider-like scene with the running down the cliff as well. The watery background again is very Green Hill Zone. Yeah, it's not a bad game. This. Obviously, it's on the Mega Drive. It is just another platformer in a whole world of platformers, and it's very easy to lose it, forget about it. But I think as an arcade game, it would feel a bit different. Yeah, what if Sonic couldn't run fast? Got to be slightly less fast and more careful about your running. But it's nice and smooth, and it's well animated. And it has some good effects going on. It uses the hardware well. It's a high quality production, I'd say, from Data East, this one. I'm not surprised Codemasters licensed it. Anyway, you can't spend too long on this because we are on the 3-hour mark, and I did want to play one last home game. But yeah, this is one to check out if you've not checked it out, and hopefully one day we will manage to decrypt the arcade version and get that running too. But for now, MAME can just run the Genesis version. And you're probably not going to have much of a different experience. So yeah, there we go. Right, and yeah, to end the stream, I will be going with the classic Spectrum game, Booty. Not the remake that I wasn't too keen on, but the original. By J.F. Kane in '84. You like the parrot on the game, do you, System Adam? I think the parrot does sound a lot like Awesome Possum. But if you like the parrot, I mean, parrots are meant to be irritating, so it does fill the role correctly. A bit like the music in this. I'm sure it's meant to be irritating because it's like a 10-second loop. That is one thing the remake did get right, is having a piece of music that was not just looping. But you know what? Right, so you get the keys and you can open the doors. Oh look, I turned the music off. Why did I do that? In fact, why did I press to turn the music off? I don't want to turn the music. I want the music. Oh well, you're going to have to live without the music then. I turned it off. Otherwise it would just repeat the same clip over and over again. So maybe for your ears, having the music off is better. Oh dear. So, collect the keys to open the doors. Collect the treasure. Don't get blown up by bombs. And key 2 to get to the door. Up there. Now, for some reason, these pirate sprites do really remind me of the teachers in Back to School or School Days. Just dressed in pirate gear. And what am I doing wrong? My timing's all wrong on this. Key 8 should help. It was also on the C64. I never played the C64 version. I can't use key 8. I can use key 8, yes. So, you do have to be very precise with the ladders. So you can go through the doors, you can go to different areas of the ship. So you can get key 2 here and go through here. And get key 4 and open up this. Go through here. And now we've got a platformy section. Now, for some reason, somebody thought putting doors where in the middle of the moving platforms was a good idea. Also, you can't fall. Yeah, where's my music gone? What did I actually press to stop the music? I don't know. But yeah, shall we have another little go? Or I think we've seen everything now. I think we've probably seen everything. But without, you say that everybody says the music's really irritating, but without the music, the game feels empty. So I wonder what I pressed to turn the music off and how you turn the music back on. But I can't find the right key to do that. Yeah, School Days is a good fun one. Doesn't really fit the theme because there are no pirates in it. But okay, so yeah, I've turned the music off. I can't turn the music back on. That kind of ruins the game for me. So I'll end it there. If you want to play it, it's a good fun game. You get the keys, you move between the rooms, you have to collect the treasure. It's very simple. It's one of the earlier budget games on the Spectrum, so you paid about £2 for it, and you got a pretty good game. Unfortunately, I've not had time to cover Pirates Gold on the Mega Drive, or the Pirates of Dark Water games, or any of the One Piece games I was going to have a quick look at, or Spot Goes to Hollywood, where I was going to have a look at the first level, and a few others, but I think we've managed to cover a fair few pirate games on this stream. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody who's been here and everybody who's been joining the chat and watching and throwing comments my way. And I'll have to have a look at the fantasy samples then, System 11. I just don't really like using them. Although now I wonder why or what's not emulated and why they can't be emulated. Anyway, maybe there's some internal ROM on something. I don't know. No, I don't have the samples installed, Bob. I prefer to wait for things to be properly emulated. But that's just me. But yes, it's been a nice busy chat again, and I think everybody's been having fun. I apologise if I missed any hellos or any questions. I see there's people I didn't say hello to. Scrolling back, pardon me. There's a Chris Q who was here and I didn't say hi to. Zonta, who I've obviously I answered the question and forgot to say hi to. And again, thanks to Mick for the €20 donation earlier. Much appreciated. Mitchell was here. Did I say hi to Mitchell? I can't remember. But yeah, hopefully I haven't offended anybody by not saying hello. But it does get a little bit busy and I don't always see every message. And hey, yeah, Ryan as well. Probably didn't say hello to you at the time. Anyway, but yes, this has been a fun little pirate stream. But the next pirate stream I do will be a different type of pirate stream. I'll be looking over at bootleg games rather than pirates themselves. So I'll probably call that something different to distinguish it from this pirate stream. So people don't get confused. I'll probably just call it like less than legal. And thank you to Stephen, and I will see everybody on the next one, which might be in a few days, might be tomorrow. I don't really have a plan yet. It depends how I'm feeling. It's been really, really hot these days, and it's just been like not felt like it. So we'll see how I feel, but I do have a few more plans. So take care, everybody, and I will see you when I see you on the next one.